Hey, this is Wilbur back with a replay of a game I had recently where my opponent takes Speed Specialist, my opponent Shkorm, and I take Fortified Specialist, or Shkorn. I think I'm saying that right. Really liking Fortified lately with Stormcaller and Fang starts. They just seem to let you kind of play into almost any style. You can play aggro out of it, you can play defensively out of it. So I'm a big fan of them lately. So my opponent has Mustang and Crawler, and I have Stormcaller with Fangs. There's going to be a few interesting things that happen in this game, but not for the first few rounds, so I'll speed up some deployments. Usually, just talking through some of this stuff. With Stormcallers, you always want, chaff near them, and they're horrible at clearing chaff themselves, unless vertical fangs are, they kind of eat them up, but I usually take arc lights with the Stormcaller starts to kill off all of the crawlers that would normally make your Stormcallers very sad at the beginning of the game. So I'll slow down as the combat's going on here. I think this round we succumbed to the Crawlers and Mustangs. Didn't have enough well, it looks like we might win here. I can't remember this game off the top of my head, but nope, yeah, the Crawlers finished us off, and we're on to round 2. So round 2 we get a unit drop right away, and I believe I select the Fire Badger, and I think my opponent takes Sabertooths. I think both of these are pretty good options this round. Sabertooths are really good against Stormcallers because you can get the anti-missile tech. And Fire Badgers were free, and it's a level 2 Badger, which is quite strong at this point in the game. And I'm having to face a whole bunch of chaff units, a bunch of Crawlers, and a bunch of Mustangs that also fall to Fire Badgers pretty quickly. So you can see I immediately purchased 2 more sets of Fire Badgers to fortify my flanks and my chaff clearing. My opponent right now has 5 sets of Crawlers. So a lot of Crawlers coming in. So my round was pretty simple. $400, 2 sets of Stormcallers, we're ready to rock. My opponent puts the Sabertooths on the sides and grabs 2 more sets of Crawlers, as well as Mobile Beacon. So he's opted for the Mobile Beacon distractor for the Stormcaller shots. This is a really good strategy. If you're struggling with Stormcallers, try this out. You can even get more creative where you use the Mobile Beacon to split like half the Crawlers, and then half of them will run forward. And then you can run those Crawlers back into the fray. Lots of different things you can do with Mobile Beacon, and this is definitely one of the standard uses, is to distract those Stormcallers without having to pay for missile defense turrets. So over here I got ran over by the Crawlers, so we'll see this round was a pretty decisive win for my opponent. Speed through the rest of this. So on to round 3. So here we get laser sights, deployment specialist, assault, melting point, and heavy armor. All of these are fairly tempting. Maybe assault and melting points the least tempting, just because you get the big decrease in range. So my opponent takes laser sight, I take deployment specialist to get that extra deployment in per round. So this round I also take field recovery, and have decided to sell out of my Stormcallers. Seeing the Mobile Beacon and the Sabertooth, as well as all of the small chaff units, has really made Stormcallers kind of ineffective. Stormcallers kind of suck against most of the units that are on the board, so I think selling out of them made quite a bit of sense. You can see my opponent has unlocked the Scorpion, or looks like we both got Scorpion this round. The laser sights ended up on the level 2 pack of Mustangs. Looks like the Scorpion unlock plus the field recovery was purchased by me, as well as I think some crawlers on the bottom back there, so I don't lose the chaff war as fast. Fire Badger's doing a lot of work against those crawlers in the middle of the map. Scorpion falls to the Sabertooth, and we're still struggling to find a win here in these early rounds. These Sabertooths will happily finish off my Fire Badgers. Sabertooths are a pretty big counter to Fire Badgers. On to round 4. These are all fairly unattractive, so I skip. And my opponent's Scorn is thinking very hard about his next move. Well, let's go back to our board. So, looks like we have unlocked the Fortress and have placed down another Scorpion. The Fortress is going to move to protect our Fire Badgers from these Sabertooths. I have 50 gold left and passed my turn. Looks like my opponent grabbed Electromagnetic Impact from the previous card, so we didn't miss too much. And they've added 2 Scorpions to their board. Upgraded their Mustang. I think Scorpions they were looking at primarily to counter the Fire Badgers. That's probably why they were purchased, unlocked early. However, I think it was a bit of a unnecessary. He already had the Sabertooths that were doing an excellent job against the Fire Badgers. If I was in his position, I would have probably waited to grab that tech, or grab that unlock, or went for something like an aerial unit to mix the board up. So now I'll see a little bit of Scorpion on Scorpion action. This Scorpion's taken down our opponents because we are Fortified Specialists. So that was a Fortified Specialist in action right there for sure. So keep that in mind when you have like these kinds of matchups. Any of these like medium, large units with Fortified Specialists, you really start to see that difference in health come out. To remind you, it's a 17% increase of HP in all your units on the board. So with Speed Specialist, they might get the first shot off, but it's not going to matter. So we take our first round here, coming back into the game. So I think this is when, for me, this game got a little bit interesting. Enhancement Module used to be a little bit cheaper of a pickup. It used to be pretty game warping. I believe it used to cost 50 or 100 gold, and what it can do for you is allow you to upgrade your units for free, which is a big deal. So I had this Scorpion that had just leveled, so I threw that on there and immediately got a $150 benefit from Enhancement Module. So I'm short $50, but what you can really do to start making money off Enhancement Module is sell your unit, put that Enhancement Module on a new unit, and upgrade it again. You can also upgrade a unit and then sell it to immediately get the benefit of the extra gold that you got for free. So Enhancement Module becomes kind of a money maker as long as you're willing to sell the unit that it's on. So I believe this round I keep my Scorpion as is, but in the future here we'll see a big tech switch because of the Enhancement Module. So this round we see my opponent add 2 more Scorpions to his board. That's a lot of Scorpions on a board. No air units yet. You see he also went for the Ion Blast to get through this Fortress Shield, and looks probably do a cheap shot onto the Scorpion. One of the other things to note is I haven't teched anything on my board except these fortresses, so I haven't really invested into a unit yet. My opponent, I think, hasn't even bothered to get range enhancement on the Mustangs, and also is playing a pretty techless board. So even with the Ion Beam coming down, we did a pretty good job of cleaning up the board. We are in a pretty strong position to win next round. I don't think we win this round if I remember right, because the Scorpion is like almost no HP as well as the fort. We lose our tower there. So we'll see the Scorpion walk up, they'll trade, the level 2 Scorpion 100 to 0 that one with the enhancement mod. With this big Sabertooth just popped that fortress. So a few fangs to clean up and round 6. So here's where the game gets kind of spicy. So my opponent instantly picks the Melter. A lot of people love this unit right now. After seeing all of the Scorpions last round, I gravitated towards the Overlord because Scorpions don't shoot up. So you can see this round I've sold this Scorpion, put the enhancement mod onto the fortress and upgraded it to get some more money back. That allowed me to buy 2 more Overlords as well as tech the ground cannon to help get rid of those pesky Scorpions. My opponent grabbed the Melter, put the Melter down, added range enhancement to it as well as range enhancement to his Scorpions. And finally, the electromagnetic impact is being used on the bubble over here in what used to be a Scorpion. I also take rapid resupply as I feel like the game is going to be rapidly approaching an end after those giants came down. And it looks like I've added chaff behind my towers for a nice split. And I've added a fang up in front to shield my Overlords from taking damage immediately. I was a little disheartened, I remember, in this game to see the Melter come down right away. I thought, okay, well, I've set myself up to fail, but I should have been prepared for it because I did see it on the unit card, and that is like everybody's favorite unit lately. So we do see the Melter lock one of the Overlords pretty quickly, but we have lots of chaff left with ground cannon, so we'll be making our way into this Melter, shutting down any possibility of those other Overlords dying. And our big level 2 fortress is got a few chaff units in front and is onto this big Melter, taking it down as well. So pretty nice round for us. We did a lot of damage with the Overlords. On to the next round, we see us both grab Incendiary Bomb, trying to clear out that chaff for our giants to get on the priority targets. we get another free level from Enhancement Module here. So this Enhancement Module has made us 100 or 550 upgrade worths of free gold, plus the sale of the Scorpion itself adds a little bit more. It was a level 2 Scorpion when it was sold. So in this round I put 2 bubbles down, expecting the fire to come. They have also added a fang up front of this fortress. I've taken rapid resupply, enhanced range, high mobility. I think most of my deployments just went into chaff units this round to try to buy my overlords time to get through. The only other thing I bought was the mothership, which spawns the wasps, which was very important for me winning this round because of the incendiary bomb coming down and clearing out all of the chaff on the right side. So here we can see our opponent did a interesting beacon back to try to save one of these melters to finish off units, but I think it actually hurt him. So he ended up being stuck on the wasp that had just spawned. And once again our big fortress took out the level 2 melting point, and we get the win. So an interesting game where a big tech switch because of enhancement mod surprised my opponent with overlords, and we won in 2 rounds because of that. I think the last round my opponent also teched crawler production, which was wasted because of the incendiary bomb. Could have been better if there was no incendiary bomb. May have delayed my overlords being able to target the ground units quicker. But if there was no incendiary bomb, I have 6 sets of crawlers plus 2 fangs to get through over here, where his chaff is a lot less than mine. We have 4 crawlers and 1 set of fang to clear. So hard to say who would win. He also has to kill all of the wasps that are going to be joining the fight every 28 seconds. Pretty fun game to play. Enhancement mod is always kind of a wild card when it comes up. It's expensive, but it can do crazy stuff like tech switches into giants your opponent doesn't expect to counter his board, which was primarily ground, until the melters came out that could target the or the overlords. I think a few things about overlords. I don't think they're in really a good spot as a unit itself. They are just one of the weaker giants, I would say, right now. Like melting points take care of them pretty good, and anti-air fortresses are also fairly good against them, with maybe some Phoenix backup. So use it at your own risk, but when you see stuff like 4 scorpions come down in a turn, like 2 and then 2, overlords start looking pretty good. And even against a handful of melters, if you load one side, you can overcome them with given enough chaff. So I hope you enjoyed this replay. It was a pretty fun one to play, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.